Everybody ready?
Yes.
Everybody,
We must be one.
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 everybody.
We must be one.
Uptown New York City where you can spot me. Uptown New York City where you can spot me. Uptown New York City where you can spot me. Uptown New York City.
Welcome to the Hughes Roundtable. Everybody. I'm Michael Hughes.
I'm Akili Cooper.
I'm Akili Hughes.
I'm Nina Hughes.
Yes, we're here today at the Park of Roses, Weststone Park, Columbus, Ohio. We're here today to interview my cousin, Akili Jahi Cooper. And he's the first person that was on audio that has come back now full circle to do video. So he's the first, what would we call you? A young man. Strong young man right here. This young man to come. Most of the people have been, a little older than us or our age.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So he's the first person that is Michaela's age. What else is you the first at?
Fashion designer.
He's the first fashion designer. Yeah. So Akili, tell them about the idea you came up with when you were first here.
Okay. I was hanging out with a friend. I got inspired for my Rose Garden collection.
Yeah.
Like in bed?
Yeah.
Okay, so I was.
So those pictures you just showed me.
They were inspired by, the collection was inspired by the lack there of a relationship that I was in. So being inspired by romance and flowers and roses and all that sort of intertwined with things I was actually going through at that moment.
Okay.
So the beauty of the park and the roses sort of just intertwined with a lot of life that was going on there. Sort of getting inspired with a character, if you will.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I'm smiling because it ain't easy when the cameras come on. Yeah. So we wanted to get him back on and put him on video and explain to people about to tie in the podcast, which you did 2 episodes on the podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. And to tie that into now, him talking about he just got finished doing whole session of prom dresses, stuff like that. Oh, yeah.
They were all very beautiful. I loved all the girls that I had this year. But it was a long season.
Your mama said you was putting in work.
Yeah, I mean, I missed a lot of stuff.
You missed a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's cool to be back somewhere where that gave me inspiration. This is cool.
So, once again, this is my cousin, Akili Jahi Cooper, and his mom, Edith Cooper. She'll be seeing this, and we hope that she likes it. I know she will, because I talked to her last Sunday, and we was talking about your designs and how when you get this, y'all check him out on give him some of your websites to take a look at your design.
Facebook /Jahi by Akili, and on Instagram it is at Jahi by Akili, JAHI by AKILI.
Okay, Jahi.
Yes.
Tell them what that means. I like that Jahi, y'all.
Jahi means
listen to
dignity.
this. Dignity.
Yeah, in Swahili.
In Swahili. See there? He walking in dignity too. You see his clothes, you see that he's dignified and graceful. It is. They are. I love them. I love them. I told your mom that you were sharp, that it was cold-blooded, but you know, he ain't making no clothes for the men yet.
Not yet.
Oh, he said he don't know about it. Cause you know, he want to stay in his lane. Is that what you're saying?
I want to perfect my lane.
You want to look at there? You about to make me jump up and down. You know, Kayla, you said you seen his work, and on his show he just had. What was that?
We can talk about he had his brunch.
Yes.
For just creatives. It's like a social networking event to get people together.
Yeah.
So, do you want to talk a little bit about what that means to you and why you do it?
So the Jahi Fashion Designer Brunch is, I did it because I'm cool with a lot of fashion designers in Ohio or Columbus or whatever, and I just noticed that as a designer there's nothing that really, we do so many shows and there's nothing that says like, oh, let's come together and let's like show support or let's like talk to each other outside of like backstage at fashion shows, because I know backstage at fashion shows it's probably a lot different. So like, you know, if you don't know me, then you might be like, oh, that dude is like, you know, like real standoffish or something, you know. But I feel like it's a really good time for designers to get together and really show support and like, you know, love for each other's art and also give back. So all the designers, it's free event for designers only, but they give like supplies, sewing supplies, whether it's we got 2 sewing machines this year, a lot of fabric, a lot of just different supplies, and we all donated to the fashion program at Arts and College Preparatory Academy, which is the high school academy. So it's something we have, I'm doing every year. This was the 2nd year, and it actually gets me like really excited. Like this year I feel like I was prepping for a fashion show. I'm like, oh man, I can't wait, and I hope they love it. But it's cool, and it's teach me to give back, because it's a bigger picture than just like the brands. Like, you know what I mean? If you're able to give back and like help others get through lanes that, you know, you maybe found it difficult, like that's really the better, because I'd rather inspire.
Deriving ideas, style, or taste from a broad and diverse range of sources.
So you talked about having your event and giving back and inspiring others and how much that means to you. And you have another show coming up at your school. So can you talk about that and just your hopes for that?
So I was inspired by doing the show at the school, because when I first set off to going back to school and getting my degree, I said I wasn't going to do fashion no more. Like I was just going to wait until after I graduated. But you know, when something's in you and it's just you, it's like you could only shut up for so long. So like I would go to the shows on campus and see
Speak up a little loud.
see stuff I wasn't used to, like just elements that I was just that I found very new. And just learning from that, and then also feeling like, all right, I want to be a part of this, like sort of. But it took a while to really say like, all right, I'm gonna be a part of this. I'm gonna put my own show together. I'm gonna do it instead of just being in somebody else's show, because I didn't feel like there's other brands on campus, and I feel like they're not as appreciated. So like I'm not just showing my collection at the show. There's other brands, other like students that have like, you know, whether it's t-shirts or there's a few that actually make stuff. But I feel like just like the designers here, you have to team up and like show like, you know, we're here in order for everybody to get that same support. So nobody knows like, you know, I'm Akili Cooper, brand Jahi, like, you know, with my own brand, been to New York Fashion Week in LA and Atlanta and over 50 shows. I just go and I'm a student. So it's not till like recently I posted like some on Instagram and somebody was like, what was you doing this weekend? I'm like, oh, just a fashion show. Like, and it's only like, you know, they keep scrolling. It's like, wait a minute, who is this dude? Like, you know, so they, you know, end up being like, you know, curious of what was going on. So I feel like I have to eventually be me and just show, yeah, I'm a designer. That's what I do, but also show like, hey, he's a designer, she's a designer. Let's like have a real show where, you know, that support is there and everybody's being seen. So
I wanted to ask about fabrics, because I have a birthday coming up and I'm thinking about doing some things. So linen, what type of fabrics do you use? I know that you like the flow.
I like sequins. I like stuff that stretches. I love things that form to the body, or stuff that like complements the form, stuff that you can still like move and dance in or whatever. Brocade fabrics are really, I love those. I've been doing like my princess skirts, I call them. Like, you know, wide skirts with pockets. Some have slits, some don't. But they're like, most of them are like floor length. But those are like my new favorite. I've been doing like more thicker fabrics. I actually want to use mudcloth, the African fabric that they make. I just was looking into getting some of that and making like one of my princess skirts out of that.
Now, is that a breathable material?
That was a little bit thicker cotton base. It's all natural, of course.
Okay.
But it's like the natural state of like a cotton, straight fabric.
Okay.
So I do want to do that.
So what you would make though, since it's high fashion, is there anything that is on your website that could go from work to after work?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I do like these high-waisted pants. Like that's one of my high-waisted wide leg trousers. I feel like those are one of my transitioning pieces that are usually good for work to after 5 if you switch up the shirt or whatever. I do really nice knee-length like pieces that are in most of my collections. You know, if you throw a jacket on, that'll cover up maybe some of the backless factors in some of those dresses. But yeah, I think I have like a lot of transitional pieces where, you know, there are also those after 5 pieces that are only after 5. But yeah, I think it's important to have like those pieces that people can wear all the time. Like I love my jackets that I do. In my last collection, I had a black and white houndstooth jacket that was a longer lived, and that was a favorite. So that's been going a while.
So you said the past collection. What do you have upcoming? Do you tell prior to, or what you have in mind? What's going on? The brainstorming.
Usually when I'm thinking about like getting inspired by collections, sometimes I'm thinking about like 2, 3 different things to work on. But the next one I haven't really put too much thought in it. because I am trying to finish school, and I know once I start thinking about something like that, it's like, okay, I gotta do it. Like, it's gonna kill me not to work on it. But I know, for instance, as far as like show collection, when I do the HBCU show at Central State during homecoming, I will most likely be doing like my Rose Garden collection, or probably like a lot of my black pieces. I want to show stuff that's a little bit more dramatic, so they get the feel of like, oh, this is fashion, and this is a fashion show.
So on the, want to go back to the prom. How do you? Is it still high fashion though it's prom, or do you make it at a minimum where it's not as high fashion? Are they still red carpet dresses?
Yeah. I think that's usually the first chance that I feel like young women get a chance to get that taste of elegance. Like I usually not hate, but I hate when girls want like short dresses, because it's like, you know, once you turn 21, 19, you'll be at clubs and you can wear short dresses all you want. But not everybody gets married. Not everybody gets those jobs where they have to get a long, elegant gown. So it's like you have that moment, like, you know, you have that moment to be that queen or be that person that maybe you want to be like for the rest of your life. So I try to still give that taste of, come back to me when you get married, like, you know what I mean? Like, that's the real dress that I want to do. So
I like that.
I still try to implement that, like that taste of, like, one of my dresses got best dress this year at East High. Yeah, that was fun.
Okay. Get a photo of that so we can. Okay.
Yeah, I'll show you.
All right. Yeah, we want to see that.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you about that part about the giving and the giving back into other designers. Why are you so dead set on designers coming together? Smooth. That's what I'm gonna call you.
As far as like the support and wanting to give back and like make a voice, I feel like Jay-Z said it best. He said nobody wins when the family feuds. So if we're all in the same community and like everybody has their own niche.
Wait just a minute now, Jahi. Say that one more time.
Nobody wins when the family feuds. Like, so if you're all in the same community and nothing's built when people are being destroyed,
right?
Or when, you know, it's like little stuff,
right?
Like, you know, oh, I don't like him because this,
right?
Nobody wins when that's happening. Like, nobody can really flourish when there's negativity like that. So I felt like, as far as like giving back, like I want to do that because when I was a younger designer, being 16, I never had any designer, any brand that was like, okay, I'm gonna, like, you know, teach you some of this or do this or boom boom boom. At the fashion brunch this year, there was 2 students that came from the high school that were they want to be a part of fashion or be in the field. So I feel like in order to grow or really know what you want to do, you have to be around those type of people,
right? And
you have to see I wish I remembered that other Beyonce quote. She just used somebody else's quote. And you can't be something you can't see or something like that.
Yeah.
But, you know, just giving that visibility, saying like, or here's a room of designers, it's a bunch of positivity. And, I mean, you can too. Like, just networking or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
That's a good idea to open the door up to elegance.
Yeah.
Or opportunity, maybe they haven't had the chance to do something that's different or on that level, but then have the gown to go along with the event. And then, like you said, that can give a different viewpoint to a female's life of, you know, the clothes don't make us, but we feel better when we wear something that's nice, and when we coordinate and it looks nice, you're complimented, and then you can say, oh yeah, Akili did this for me, this is, you know, mine. So it does bring open to whoever the female is a character piece to say, you know, I feel a little bit better about myself, you know, and that's awesome. That was a very good point. I like that, because it opens up another avenue to life. Like you said, this moment could be something that can be continuous.
Yeah.
That it was a part of greatness, and they want to continue that on, like it's illuminating.
Yeah.
Like just brought a moment and said, hey, I think I'd like to keep having that. It doesn't always have to be the red carpet, but you can still have that sachet throughout, life. So that's good.
And I know exactly who's gonna make it. It's like, it reminds me of when I first started fashion, and I was getting into like John Galliano, who was the creative director at Dior, and I was watching like his haute couture fashion shows. It was such a fantasy because my mom wasn't wearing haute couture gowns or wearing gowns, period. So it was like seeing that fantasy and seeing that it's something that can be done. Like you have to see it in order to say, oh, I can do that. So like, watching those haute couture shows back then, or like Atelier, Versace, it was the fantasy that made me want to work on my craft so I can do that. So I think when it's like the other side, and it's like, oh, I'm getting a custom dress made for me, and it's for this event. After that, like, you're going to be looking for other events to say, oh, let me get a dress. Like, let me do something where I have to go get me a long dress, or I have to be in the mood of getting my hair, my makeup, and that it really adds a different, not necessarily quality of life, but it adds a different vibe to your life, man. It's some appreciation. It's like men with suits. Like once you get that first suit and it fits and it's a mood, it's like, oh, I want to do this every day. Like, I don't really do tennis shoes too much anymore. Like I feel like it's something that grows on your style, but it's something like once you get your first like dressing nice and wearing blazers and doing stuff like that, like you get used to it, and it's something that you want to carry on through everyday life.
It can be a great enjoyment. So any of the ladies that you had outside of your models and the young ladies that come for prom, have you had repeat customers? Because I'm thinking, like you said, for the wedding, and once they get that prom dress, and then they're thinking, because the thing about having your own or fashion, you being the fashion designer, and the person coming to you, the client said, this is what I like, and you did a good job on this. Now they're thinking further in, and because a repeat customer is always good. That means that the quality was good, they were satisfied with what they received, so they're always going to want to come back. That's what I'm talking about. Perfect. Yeah, but I want, you want them to be comfortable and be satisfied about what you've done and what your creation was. So do you have any young ladies that have returned for whatever it was, the first project that you had worked on for them, and then they said, hey, I'm in need of another dress, can you hook me up?
So there was recently there's a stylist, a women's blogger in Columbus who went to Fashion Week. Was that last year? Yeah, last year she went to Fashion Week Columbus, and she had got a princess skirt, and got her pictures, and she looked really, really great. She came back recently. Well, that night I showed my collection, and I had a jacket that was on the runway. And at that show, she was like, I want that jacket. Like, that's my jacket. I need that. So a few months later, she was like, hey, where's that jacket? Like, I still need that jacket. So she actually came back and bought that. One of my favorite, like, I wouldn't say like she was a repeat customer, but in 2012, 13, I did 2013, I did a fashion show, and there was a girl in the crowd, and she was with her mom, and she told her mom, like, oh, when it's time for high school, he's making my prom dress. So this year I actually made her prom dress, and she told me this story. She was like, yeah, I was at such and such fashion show, and I saw you, and it was just so amazing, and ever since that I wanted you to make my prom dress. She saw me at Easton, I guess like a few years ago, and she was like, Mom, stop the car, like, that's him. And she had noticed me then, but she came to me this year and was like, got her prom dress down, and I'm like, well, come back for your wedding. And she's like, oh yeah, of course. Like, so that's a lifetime customer. She looked amazing. She was on prom court, and yeah, so that was really cool. I feel like hopefully she'll probably be my first like repeat. Like, she was really great. She was amazing.
So have you already in your mind started thinking about her returning for that wedding gown?
Yeah, I'm always
It's always
thinking.
turning.
Yeah, especially once you get somebody that you know their fit or their style and what they go for. It's like, oh, I know a few things that you might like, or some things I could throw your way. But I like that. I love when people can look at the stuff that I put on the runway, because that's the stuff that I usually like. That's my babies. Like that's the collections or stuff I care for, stuff I really think about. So, and they say like, oh, I want that piece, like one of the jackets or the skirts. Like that means a lot. It's like buying like a one piece art, and then I don't make things multiple times. So it is like I feel like buying an art piece. Almost.
And what was you told us before, what was there's a term for it just being a one-time piece. Remember
Like
how you
haute couture?
Yeah.
That's one time. It's usually fit for the customer. And it's just one piece with the only person with that. So that's usually that. But usually haute couture is more so also handmade, like done all by hand. Fabrication, the feathers, the embellishments is usually matured done by hand.
So now that you're talking about school and getting out, when are you going to be full-fledged? So how much school do you have left?
I have a year and a half.
So in between that, you're doing prom, and if you need special projects, okay, my birthday in July, when you go back to school, not until August 10th.
Okay, can't see. Oh, sweet.
Yeah. So tell the people how to get in contact with me, because if you have any I got an X. Tell the people how we can get in contact with you, and then your ordering. I want to put that out there again.
So you can get in contact with me on Facebook, Facebook /Jahi Designs, or Jahi by Akili. Oh god, that was really bad. Jahi by Akili, and on Instagram it's Jahi by Akili, JAHIBYAKILI. My email is on all my pages, on all my social media. I usually work really good by just communicating through email or like inbox for like special pieces. Or a lot of my collections are on like my pages, so people can scroll through that. I have a video that I'm working on soon for my Houndstooth collection for 2019, and that will be out before the summer's over.
Okay.
So hopefully before my birthday we'll have that project out.
When's your birthday?
July 26th.
That's some special stuff in the month, in the birthday month. Yes, I'm excited. All right.
That's a young lady that is definitely she's doing some major stuff, but I like the business moves she makes. You know, from what I hear, the business moves she makes and all of that right there is incredible. And people are seeing it because they're putting it out there of what she's all about as far as her business. Didn't you tell me about the Netflix deal she just inked?
Oh, you're talking about Beyonce?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about you thought I was talking about you.
No, I didn't know who you were.
Because you be making business moves too, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's Queen. I feel like she inspires me to be better, and inspires me to. It's always great to have like somebody that you look up to. Even Jay-Z, he has the Rock Nation brunch, so that sort of inspired me to. Was a little bit of the inspiration of saying like, oh, we should have a designer brunch. Like there should be something where. We all come together.
Yeah.
Like those seeing like Jay-Z and Swiss Beats and Diddy and Nas and all these like big rappers, big guys, big names. They could easily be like, oh, you don't make as much as me. Like, get out of here. But they all come together and like those pictures are inspiring. Like
And
I
they
love that. Yeah.
You know, if you see things, the moves that they make, do not think in a defeated attitude. And I'm not saying you are. I'm just saying you could do the same stuff that they do.
Yeah.
That's right.
You just because you don't have the money yet, or if that's what I do. I find a LeBron, people like that, and I like their business moves, and I do what they do. If you don't have nobody in your atmosphere that you can emulate, ain't nothing wrong with emulating them.
Right.
Well,
thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for subscribing, watching. We have Akili here with us, and we thank you for coming to talk with us.
Thank you.
Coming to the place where you were inspired was really fun. So we thank you all. We pray that you keep and continue to support us.
Yes.
And remember to subscribe. And remember to type in the Hughes Roundtable on youtube.com and watch all of our videos. And remember to share with your friends and family. Thank you. Bye.
Peace.
Everybody ready?
Yes.
Everybody.
We must be one.